Hey guys, I'm Elliot. This is Everything Elliot, and today we're going to do a how-to. Today's how-to is how to adjust your slip clutch on your 3-point implement. Now, if you have any 3-point implements that have a slip clutch, that is that right there. It's got a couple bolts running around the outside. That needs to be adjusted every year, especially if it sits over winter. I mean, it's good to do it just once a year anyway. Make sure it's working properly. First thing you do is take a measurement. The measurement you need to take is the gap that's right here where my finger is. Mine is a 1/2 inch. You'll need to remember that because you want to tighten these back to get that same gap that you had. Now you do want to loosen these all the same. In my case, they're 17 mil. So I am going to loosen them all till about the end of the nut is even with the end of the threaded bolt. So once that's done, we do have to hook this up to the tractor because we need to slip this clutch. Basically what you're going to do is you're just going to hook it up to the tractor, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. And the way that I know the clutch is going to be slipping is I'm going to get a paint marker and mark every side of this so I know that how it lined up kind of thing. All right, well, I couldn't find my paint marker, so I used a marker pencil. Mark the U-joint, the front of this plate here that the bolts are on, the back side of the bolt plate or the slip plate, and then the back side of the PTO. Mark those 4 spots all in the same location. I'm gonna get this hooked up to the tractor and we'll see if we can slip this clutch a little bit. So now that we've got it hooked up to the tractor, we're gonna start the tractor. We're gonna engage and disengage the clutch on the tractor to turn the PTO on, sending a shock through the system and hopefully slipping that clutch. I'm gonna do it probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, see how it goes. Don't forget to hold this off the ground. You don't wanna hit your concrete or whatever you're doing it on. So now, I'm gonna try to find our marks. And not a whole lot of working room in here, but you do the best you can. I know it's gonna be kind of tough to see. Oh man, you're not gonna be able to see that. How am I gonna show you? Maybe this way? There's 1 line, there's 2 lines, and there's the 3rd line. All of them are still lined up, so we need to give this thing a little more of a shock. Or maybe loosen the bolts a little more. Maybe we'll do that. Or loosen the nuts a little more. All right, I'm gonna loosen the nuts a little more and we'll just do it again. All right, I loosened the bolts up 1 more time. They're all pretty darn loose now, so we'll do the same process. Turn the tractor on, hit the clutch, see what happens. All right, let's check again. Everything is still lined up. Might be tougher to see, but there's 1, 2, and 3. So now, what can we do? We can't get it to slip on its own. Easiest way I know to make it slip, keep them loose like that and go throw it in the dirt. Throw it in the dirt 1 time, that'll create some friction in there and hopefully slip the clutch. Because you don't want to jam something in there. I mean, what I'm gonna do, lose a hand? You'll be able to see it now. So obviously the PTO is going to be spinning. PTO is gonna be spinning the entire time. I'll set you down so you can see the tines. So now we know it's slipped. Now we know the friction surface has cleaned itself off. Now we can just tighten it back up to that 1/2 inch we originally measured at. I'm gonna back in the shop and we'll get that done quick. So we started at a 1/2 inch gap on that slip clutch where the two plates are apart from each other. We're just gonna tighten it back up to that. Grease everything up. We'll check our oils. I'll show you guys how to do that quick. And we'll be on our way ready to use this machine. So everything's tightened back up. Now it's time to grease and oil. There's a grease point here. Now, I should say, this is a countyline rototiller. However, most of them are built about the same. Grease point on this bearing. No grease point over here because this is the oil side. Now, this is your oil fill. This is your oil check, all right? You're gonna pull this plug and fill this until oil comes out of here. If you pull this plug and some oil starts coming out, just dribbling out, that means you have the proper amount of oil. Take a look at it, make sure it's not milky, make sure it's, you know, looks like gear oil. 90 weight gear oil goes in these. And same thing on your gearbox over here. This is gonna be your fill. And your drain, or your level I should say, is right there in the center. I don't know if that helps you any better. Right there. That's where you wanna check it. Grease points on the U-joints. I already greased those. That's it. Super simple. So that's it for today's video. Nice and quick how to get that slip clutch. Make sure you do it every year on all of your implements that have slip clutches. Now, if you have shear bolts, you don't need to do this. But if you have a slip clutch, do it every year because you don't want that slip clutch rotting up, rusting up, locking together, and you break something internally in your tractor. Might as well check it. Takes about 10-15 minutes. Worth saving your tractor. I'm gonna get this thing greased up, and in a coming video, you guys are gonna see me using this rototiller. So make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one.